Week of meal prep as a mom of 4. This week we started with some buffalo chicken wraps. These are high protein with added cottage cheese, and they've honestly become one of my kids' favorite things to put in their lunch boxes. This little wrap maker is an absolute game changer because it takes away all of the guesswork on keeping things folded. And if you've ever watched my videos before, I'm going to tell you to save the scraps because you can use them for a later recipe. These are great served warm or cold, but if we're putting them in a lunchbox, we serve them cold and the kids have no problem. Once these are done, we store them in the fridge and we're ready to go for the week. Next up was Uncrustables, and this week I did salami and cheese. To add just a little bit extra, I put a sprinkle of chia seeds on each of the pieces of bread, and I've personally found when doing things like lunch meat on Uncrustables, it helps to put just a little bit of cream cheese on the bread and keep your toppings in the middle so it can fully crimp closed. Again, I'm going to remind you, save this crust because we're going to use it in the next recipe, and when these are done, I store them in the freezer. I get asked frequently if we get them out to thaw, and honestly, we pull them right out of the freezer, put them in the lunchbox, and they're ready to go by lunchtime. These containers with water-dissolving labels are hands down my favorite way to store them. For this week's crust cups, I did chicken, broccoli, and cheese. This has become a go-to for a way to use up extra chicken, and it's actually really delicious. This is essentially your leftover crust, a couple of eggs, a little bit of rotisserie chicken, cheese, and broccoli. Mix it all up, put it into lined muffin tins. Then I use this large cookie dough scoop to scoop it into the tins, bake it at 350, and we're ready to go. Now this next recipe was something new because Sam was traveling with the kids to meet me in St. Louis. So I made pizza popcorn, and oh my goodness, it was so delicious. While I mixed up the seasonings, I had pepperoni on the stove getting hot so that the oils would release. The cheese, seasoning, and pepperoni all got mixed together with popcorn, and it was so good. Then for our dip this week, we made Monster Cookie dip, which this was a new one, and it was so good. Honestly, if you love Monster Cookies but you like to eat the dough, this recipe on its own is delicious. I mixed it all up, then I served it with apples. And if you're cutting apples to store them in the containers ahead of time, my suggestion is to put them in ice water and either add lemon juice, pineapple juice, or you can even add salt to keep them from browning. My go-to is lemon juice because it's just how I grew up doing it. 1 scoop with some apples went in each of our favorite little containers. These got stored in the fridge and they were put in lunchboxes all week long. This is one of my favorite hacks because my kids can throw them in their lunchboxes or take them to school for snack or use them after school for snacks as well. Next up were little homemade drinkable yogurts. If your kids like things like Danimals, this is a great way to make them at home for a fraction of the cost. These little glass jars are the perfect size and my kids love to have these for breakfast. Bonus points, you can also use the jars for things like espresso shots stored in the fridge. Then last but not least was stocking the freezer with a high protein breakfast. And this week it was egg bites. This was just eggs and milk blended together. Then I added some leftover tater tots, as well as shredded cheese and some bacon. These got baked in the oven, then I store them in the freezer and we grab them out one at a time. These are one of my personal favorites to have on hand. Then if I can, I end meal prep with a dinner for that night. And this is one of my personal favorites, which is cheeseburger casserole. I wouldn't consider it healthy, but it's definitely a comfort food. Enjoy!